I'm Johnathon Boyle,
My name is Stephen Carrington.
and this is for Drama 15, Summer 2015. Today we'll be discussing the play The Basement at the Bottom of the End of the World by Nadine Graham, out of our textbook Multicultural Theater 2. This play faces the issue of black-white racial conflict head-on. Can two people trapped in a room with no way out reach a mutual understanding of each other? Or will their backgrounds and experiences doom them to incandescent struggle? Feeling themselves caught in the grip of forces beyond their control, they struggle to retain whatever shreds of belief from former days that might still give them meaningful choices and responses. Today we'll be discussing the character development of the two characters, Deneen and Paul. Deneen being a 17-ish black girl, proud of her cultural difference, dislikes the plainness of Paul and how white he is. Paul is a 19-ish white guy, an average everyday American white guy, proud of his father's military service, looks down at Deneen at first. Now we will be answering we will have short response questions asked by us by our prompter.
Stephen, what difficulties would you face in bonding with someone from a different background or culture?
It would be language, understanding and communicating with interpreting body language and also dealing with your surroundings.
Stephen, what would it take for you to overcome these difficulties?
I would need to trust someone and know a little bit about them before making any decisions on working together for solutions and not reacting rash without understanding.
Jonathan, how did Paul and Deneen do this?
Paul and Deneen did this by learning to understand each other on a personal level instead of relying on learned cultural differences and views of each other.
Jonathan, what in their background caused them to dislike each other?
Deneen did not like Paul because of how plain she viewed him. For instance, when she attacked his name for being Paul, even though her father's name is Bob, a name even she called the plainest name ever, and complained about how white names were all plain and only black people have beautiful rhyming names. Paul at first assumed Deneen was a looter because she was black and treated her with a condescending attitude and looked down on her and viewed down on her.
Jonathan, how did they reach an understanding of each other?
They reached an understanding by viewing each other as a person instead of a person from a different culture, learning about each other by sharing their dreams and difficulties in their life.
Stephen, why do you think it took such an extreme circumstance for them to learn to love each other?
As humans, we judge books by the covers with no understanding on what's going on. This solution brought them together and made them realize no matter what color or problem, working together as humans can be solved instead of fighting like cats and dogs.
Stephen, did sharing the stories of each other's families' deaths give them a common ground to resolve their difficulties?
It made them see they are both human instead of black and white. With that being realized, they both felt pain in the same way that brought them to see how much more in common they are. We all can relate to pain.
Jonathan, was Paul giving Deneen her dream of a prom an act of love because he knew she was dying?
No, at this point in the play, Paul still refused to accept her death and just wanted her to wake up. Paul giving Deneen her prom was a gesture of friendship that was meant to show that he loved her and wanted her dreams to come true.
Stephen, is the need for companionship important to you?
It is important to humans to communicate with others, to release feelings and emotions. Holding on can cause anger and depression towards life. Having someone to talk to is a way to solve and get past problems we might not have thought of.
This was a very interesting play, showing how people adapt to difficult situations. It showed me that maybe I should learn to accept other people without having to be forced by circumstance. I mean, we are all people after all. Why is it so difficult for us to get along?
Thank you, gentlemen.